Chapter 22. A few days after the death of Artabanus, Artaxerxes ordered Megabes to spread the word through the empire that the son of Xerxes had returned. The former Babylonian residents returned home and rebuilt their lives. Soon word reached beyond the empire's regions and reached Sparta. Upon hearing the good news, everyone immediately sailed to Babylon for celebration. When they arrived, they were given a hero's welcome by the people. For many days and nights, Amyntas and his friends celebrated many things. The prince's ascension to the throne, Amyntas' marriage to Anahita, the defeat of Artabanus, and most of all, a celebratory toast to the many men and women who died. Later the next day, keeping his word, Artaxerxes gave secretly all the treasure Artabanus had acquired through his conquest. The Carthaginians were pleased by the wealth and thanked the new king for his generous hospitality. As the men lowered the treasure onto the ship, Amyntas and Artaxerxes accompanied Secretly to the docks. Before leaving, the three men said their goodbyes. "Thank you for helping me reclaim my home," said the king. "Thank you for keeping your word. The wealth you have given will be put to good use. When I return to Carthage, I will tell my king all I have seen, and open talks for trade between the two empires," replied Secretly. "I would like that very much. And tell your king that if any Carthaginian wishes to live in my realm, my borders are open," said the king. The three men shook hands, and Secretly went to his ship. Before departing, he gave one last look at the Persian and Spartan, and tossed him an emblem. Amyntas caught and saw that it was the sacred band insignia. "Should you ever need aid, we have a brother in Carthage." With that, the boat set sail and prepared for the long journey back home. Babylon, 473 BC. Today was Artaxerxes' official coronation as the king of Persia. Throughout the morning, the young Persian paced back and forth in the throne room and dreaded every hour until the ceremony. Amyntas, Mardonius, Megabes, Themistocles, Nicholas, and Leonidas were all present in the room. "My king, pacing back and forth is not going to help you," said Mardonius. "Apologies, it's just, for so long I've dreamt of this moment. Now it's in my grasp and I don't know what to do. What if I make things worse than what Artabanus did? What if the people truly desire to be blind servants to the government?" Everyone in the throne room could see that this was causing significant stress for the young king. It wasn't until Amyntas stood up and spoke to the king. "Artabanus was right about one thing. Morals alone cannot govern an empire and should not be discarded. If you empower the common man, he will gain strength. In turn, they will keep you honest in the coming times." The atmosphere in the room began to change. "But how do I earn their strength and trust?" asked the young king. Amyntas looked at the floor and thought very hard. He then remembered something he found in Artabanus' study a few days ago. "My lord, when I searched Artabanus' chambers, I found numerous papyruses detailing his work. He detailed everything from laws, governance structure, civil obedience, and more. But they were all twisted to further his gain. Though these are not written laws, he enforced them as if they were." Artaxerxes closed his eyes and cursed the man. "What am I to do then?" asked the king. Amyntas let out a heavy sigh. "My lord, if you are building for the future, you must have strong foundations. The foundations are the people, and if you were to offer liberty and the justice in the form of a tablet of written laws made by scholars and his highness, allowing every man to forage for his home, safe from conviction without cause or prison without charge, work, eat, and live on the merit of his being, and be happy as they can be, you will have their trust. But most of all, you will have their love." Amyntas' words struck everyone in the throne room. Never has anyone said such powerful words. "So we are to build palaces for every man?" joked Megabes. Amyntas turned and smiled at the Persian commander. "Don't you know, Megabes? Every Persian's home is his palace." With everything Amyntas had said, the words touched deeply to the young king. He then placed a hand on the Spartan's shoulder. "Amyntas, I owe you everything. When my father first asked you to be my bodyguard all those years ago, I did not expect to have a friend and a mentor. You have taught me so much during our 6 years together. You have always put others before yourself and never asked for anything in return. I think it's time to fulfill my father's final command. My king? Amyntas, I hold the oath you made to my father fulfilled. You are a free man now. Amyntas was speechless. He had forgotten entirely about his oath. He stood there, paralyzed. I'm free? Artaxerxes nodded his head. Yes, my friend, you are free to make your own choices. Live your life with Anahita. You've earned that and more. The Spartan did not know what to say. He looked at his father and then at his king. He had his life again, and he should feel happy. He said it was the opposite. He looked back at his king and spoke with a confident tone. Thank you, my king. Now that I'm a free man, here's my first decision. I want to be placed in your charge once more. The statement took everyone by surprise, including the king. Artaxerxes stumbled over his words. Amyntas, I feed you from your oath. You're no longer to serve me. Why? For two reasons, your highness. First and foremost, there are still allies of Artabanus hiding within the empire. I was able to track them. They're in Egypt. I also found a list of names of all the members, and if you want to be a better king than Artabanus, we must eliminate these members. We? Asked the king. That leads to my second reason. With all that has happened to us, do you really think I will let an oath stop me? We're brothers in arms. My sword is yours to the end of my days, said Amyntas. Artaxerxes smiled and nodded in agreement. You can rejoin my services, my friend, but not as my bodyguard. You are right, we are brothers in arms, and we relied upon each other for a long time. Thus, as my first decree as king, you will henceforth have the title Grand Advisor of the King of Kings and Supreme Leader of the Immortals. Does everyone agree? A wise decision, my king, said Mardonius. An excellent choice, said Nicholas and Leonidas. Megabee said nothing, but gave a firm nod. Soon the moment came, and Artaxerxes was called to the overlook for his coronation. Reinvigorated by Amyntas' words, Artaxerxes felt the hand of doubt slide off him. As he and the others made their way to the overlook, Amyntas was about to join him, until he saw his reflection in a mirror. But in this reflection, he saw his past self, accompanied by his friends, Symbol, Tira, Avalon, Vorkir, Decimus, the elders of the Chronai, Richard, Maury, and Sparrow. He smiled with a tear in his eye as he looked back at them once more. Did we do well? His reflection asked. Amyntas glanced over to the king and saw him kneel to accept the crown before making his proclamation to people. Yeah, we did good. Epilogue. Many years later, the new king, now known in the histories and chronicles as Artaxerxes I of Persia, quelled the revolts in Egypt, extinguished the guild, and once again brought peace back to the empire. Macedonia soon fell and was fully absorbed into the Persian fold. However, Artaxerxes did not punish Macedonia's people and allowed them to live peacefully. He then revealed his power to his subjects, but told the people that he would never use it against them. Instead, he asked them to keep him accountable should he ever go astray. Furthermore, Artaxerxes made some changes to the government structure of the Persian Empire. Instead of just one governor, Artaxerxes created a council to govern all of Greece. He named it the Otanes Bull. Its members consisted of allied commanders who had fought alongside him and Amyntas. Beyond the council, its members also took new roles in this era. Leonidas, the aging Spartan king, retired from the throne. He returned home and went fishing, enjoying a new sense of peace. In his place, Pausanias ruled as Sparta's new king. He was a just king and followed in his friend's example, and under his reign he assisted Amyntas and Artaxerxes in dealing with the Egyptian revolt from 460 to 454 BC, led by Inaros II, a member of the guild. Unfortunately, in the ensuing conflict, Pausanias would lose his life in battle. His death weighed heavily on Amyntas and the rest of the council. However, it motivated his successor, Pleistarchus, to continue the fight. Before taking the throne, Pleistarchus continued his military career and distinguished himself as an exceptional Spartan officer. Like his father before him, He led his troops into battle, earning him the rank of general. When he was in his 30s, Pleistarchus was called in by Amyntas and Artaxerxes to deal with the last member of the guild, Amytas of Sais, in Egypt in 404 BC. The final battle, known in the history books as the Last Guild War, lasted 6 years. In that time, Pleistarchus firmly established himself as the rightful successor to the throne of Sparta by killing Amytas in battle. As a reward, Artaxerxes offered his sister Amytas' hand in marriage. In historical records, she was the most beautiful woman in the Persian court. The two were married a year later, in 398 BC, and together ruled Sparta as king and queen. During his later years, Pleistarchus combined typical Spartan courage with the virtues that regular Spartans lacked most significantly. He quickly formed his plans and carried them out without delay or hesitation. This made him an effective ruler of Sparta until the end of his days. As for Themistocles, Amorphaetus, and Mardonius, they retired from active duty and created the first military academy in history. It was the first of its kind in the ancient world. It was named the Schola Amaturanum, translated to School of Arms. Located in Athens, this institution focused specifically on training foot soldiers. It provided comprehensive instruction in swordsmanship, spear throwing, shield techniques, and formation tactics. Additionally, soldiers were taught combat techniques, physical fitness, and discipline. Besides military education, soldiers were also educated in philosophy and history, as both were essential to studying war. Protagoras and Heraclitus were the head teachers in this specialty. Graduates of the Schola Amaturanum were highly sought out after by Persian commanders for their expertise in close quarters combat and approach to warfare. Some of the school's top soldiers to emerge were Peristonax, the son of King Pleistarchus, Xenophon of Athens, Herodotus, Socrates, Hippocrates, Pericles, Antigonus, Cassander, Ptolemy, Seleucus, and many more who would appear during the Hellenistic Age. Even Amyntas' future son would graduate from this school at the top of his class. However, this school was not exclusively for men. Women and slaves also enrolled in the academy, much to everyone's surprise. Artemisia became the academy's first formal instructor, specializing in naval warfare. She paved the way for future female teachers to enroll in the academy. Women like Aspia, Gorgo, the former queen of Sparta, Olympias of Macedonia, and Artete of Cyrene. Under their tutelage and teaching, many great women emerged to match their male counterparts. One such famous graduate was a young Persian girl named Yoltab Ariobarzan. She would later be known as the defender of the Persian gates, with her brother, the famed Ariobarzanus of Persis. This would also inspire future women such as Roxanne, Parsatis, and even Artaxerxes' daughter and Darius II's sister, Artunis, to enroll. Together they form their own military unit. Although the original name was lost to the historical records, contemporaries had dubbed them the Amazons. Together these men and women made Greece stable and prosperous. Knowing the value of Greek culture during his tenure as a prince, Persia further adopted Greek practices and helped spread them throughout the empire with the council's help. As for Amyntas, Baru, true to his word, he stayed close to the king and helped him bring about a new era of peace and prosperity. And he served faithfully within the empire until his final days in 376 BC. During his time as Grand Advisor, retiring from the military, of course, he helped the king write new laws, oversaw the construction of public work projects, and created new roads, further connecting the realm. He also established a maritime postal system and remodeled the Persian military, making them the most disciplined fighting force in the world. He and Anahita had a son who had two names, one to signify his Greek and Persian heritage. Together they lived happily on the island of Cyprus in a villa overlooking the Mediterranean, and were known as the most incredible and most powerful couple in the ancient world. Now, as for their son, history has referred to him as Alexander Baru, but scholars and military historians know him by his Greek name, Alexander. Known in the history books as Alexander the Great, this title was bestowed to him by his king, Darius II, who was also his closest friend. Both men would continue their father's work, bringing peace to the region and spreading culture where needed. And though Amyntas' tale was over, another would begin. And with that, viewers and listeners, we have reached the end of Amyntas, Son of Persia audiobook series. I hope you enjoyed Amyntas, and fret not, as the next episodes of The Gathering will be coming out soon. And once The Gathering is finished, the next book we turn to is Michael, the Last Angel of Earth. Thank you again for all of your support, and I will see you all in the next episodes. And check out the upcoming Wandering Scribe and Wandering Quill author and historian interviews later this month.